Hello, amazing, beautiful people. Always good to see you. And here again, I'm super excited because I get to share on just what's on my heart and my mind in this season, or certainly in this week. And it's about, are you living life by design or by default? And it's so black and white for me. And it helps me to get myself back into the design mode because for me, it's about living life by design. But my default mode is to take me into unhelpful places. So I'm just going to unpack a little bit about the inspiring perspective around this. So when I'm living by design, I'm living future present. I'm looking ahead of me and I'm going in the direction that I'm called to go in. I'm going in the way that is going to make a difference. And it's the way that I want to go. It's the way I want to be. It's pulling me forward. As opposed to when I live by default, it's like past present. I'm looking back over my shoulder. Oh, I remember when I did this and it pulls me back. It actually stops me moving forward productively in the way I want. And there's been some scientific research about the fact that our negative thinking is 7 times stronger than positive. Like, what the heck? Because that 7 times stronger negative thinking is the default. The 1 times is the positive, which is the design. So we just got to, I feel like I have to literally make the choice to live life by design. But if I don't make the choice, I live it by default. I live it in that unthinking, unbeing way. And by design is being positive, it's being impactful, it's being hopeful, hope that it's going to get better, hope that there's more, hope that there's joy. On the default mode, it's negative and fearful. Oh my goodness, this is all bad. This is terrible. Things are going to be awful. It's looking down that terrible spiral of unhelpfulness. And I look at the top 5% of people, those that are super successful. I listened to a podcast yesterday, and the gentleman, great professor, amazing guy, on Michelle's podcast yesterday. And he has literally spent some time in COVID, read about the top 100 billionaires. And one of the things that they had in common, outward thinking, they had purpose, they live life by design, they are focused on where they're going. So that top 5% really work through, what am I here for? They're creating where they want to be. They can see it and they go for it. And the default are just like following the flock, doing what everybody else is doing, looking outside themselves all the time. Those top 5%, they're internal. They know that this is what they're called for. This is where they're going. This is what they're creating. The other 95% are like, oh, maybe it's that shiny object. Maybe it's that shiny object. Always looking, always in that, oh my goodness, do I, don't I? So it's like searching. It's unclear. It's quite scattered, as opposed to focused. So design is focused, default is scattered. It's like, what the heck? Just these opposites all the time. Design is looking outside of us, so knowing who we are, but looking outside for the things that we don't have within us. Because I might be great as a firecracker, as somebody who encourages and inspires, but my business is not going to work unless I have someone to help me strategically, or I have somebody else to bounce off because I need to bounce. It's not all in my head. It's often through talking. So I need other people in my life. So I need to look bigger than myself and find those amazing people to work with. So as we work together, the marketing people, the administration people, those guys that are fantastic at getting that message out, those are who I need to be working with. As opposed to if I'm in default mode, it's like, oh no, I've got to do it all. I know everything. I should know everything. Oh my goodness, why did I stuff this up? Because actually it's not your lane. But if you're in default, you put that on yourself, and it's weighty and it's heavy. It's like, oh, but I can't afford to have somebody do my marketing for me. Actually, you can't afford not to, because it's not your lane and you're not going to do it well. So it's about how do we work together, and that's that design. Where do I want to, and again, it's future focus. What do I want? Do I want my business or my life to look like this? And then who are the who's that will help me? Dr. Benjamin Hardy's always good on that. The who, not how, with Dan Sullivan. But who have I got to work with to help raise the bar and get me to where I want to go? So that's about design. And design is freeing because you're not trying to be all things to everybody. You're not trying to be in somebody else's lane. You're just doing your thing and then finding others that are doing their thing. And it's like, oh my goodness, as the tide rises, all boats rise. Bring it on. Whereas default is like, oh no, I have to do it. I have to do it. And you almost put like a wall around yourself. It's like, oh no, 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 I've got this, or I should have got this. And actually, we are peace. It's interesting. I often think about people, we're looking for the missing piece in the puzzle. Actually, we're looking for the missing piece, P-E-A-C-E. But anyway, that's a slight sideline. So, but it brings me into when we are living life by design, we are peaceful. We're filled with a peace. We're in our lanes, we're doing our thing, nothing bothers us, nothing stresses us, because actually we're on that focused path. Whereas if you're living life by design, by default, it's stressful. It's really unhelpful. It's stress. You can feel it. You get anxious, you get stressed because you haven't found your lane. You're trying to be all things to everyone. And then the other one is you're purposeful. If you are living life by design, you have a purpose. You know your why. You know why you're here. Boom, you're on fire. As opposed to living life circumstantially, living life and what's happening in front of you in your circumstances. And again, it can go back to, is life for you or is it happening to you? So living life by design is I win or I learn, which is brilliant because that's for you. And living life by default is actually, it's happening to me, it's all bad, oh my goodness, I've got no control. Whereas design, you are totally in the driving seat. It's funny, eh? And then also the last of it is like, because you're focused, you are single-minded. When we are unfocused, we're living by default, we're double-minded. We're like, oh, is it this, is it that? And we're not standing on solid ground. We're kind of trying to work things out. And often we are working things out as we go, but getting the right people around you to fit together so that you can all be running in your lanes and going from glory to glory. It doesn't get much better than that, really. So I'm just encouraging you. These are just my thoughts. They're not rocket science. They're not, I haven't spent 50 years researching in a lab. I've spent 50 years researching my life and looking at others for sure, but not technically and scientifically. These are observations that I have made about people that are super successful and that are happy, really genuinely content and happy, live their lives by design with meaning and purpose, and they're fulfilled as opposed to filled full. And those that aren't are living life by default. They're not thinking, they're not using their brains, they're just following the crowd, they're just going where everyone else tells them to go. And actually they're not being their best, amazing, wonderful, uniquely designed, brilliant self. And that does break my heart, which is why I do what I do. So if this has been helpful for you to think about it and you want some answers, please call me or go on the website, www.inspiringperspectives.co.nz. I would love to hear from you, even if it's a comment or a question. I will always give you the best of what I have. So I hope this has been helpful. Pass it on to a friend, like it, because it helps me to know that somebody out there even has listened, let alone anything else. But, just like this, comment, share, and that would make my day, and it helps me spread the word. So if it's helped you, help somebody else. Have an amazing God bless day. Thank you.